at SEC Media Days on Radio Row, presented by NewBrakes.com. Check them out. Mobile Brake Repair. They'll come to you, NUBrakes.com. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, there he is, the Boom Boom Room man himself, Ron Slay.
We're all in the building.
We're all in the building. So is Tennessee football coach Josh Heupel joins us at the table. Coach, how are you, man?
Been a great day, man. It's been a lot of fun, and had two great ambassadors. Our players have done a fantastic job here in Vegas, and Alante. Been a lot of fun sharing the day with them.
I'll tell you this. Unbelievable kids, no doubt. You know that. They were both so grateful to have been chosen to be here.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for them. I think that players across this league and players inside of our locker room understand the power of the SEC brand, the power of this day, and the opportunity to represent something greater than yourself, represent your peers in the program. Those two guys are great ambassadors for us.
Josh Heupel with us, 3HL. Slay?
Yeah, I ain't going to put you in the Boom Boom Room yet.
Okay. I was worried about the Boom Boom Room.
I'm going to give you let's go. I'm going to let him warm you up, and then I'm going to come back.
And then you're going to get me on the backside.
You know it, but I will say,
yeah,
you know it. With the guys being selected, man, to be able to represent the university like that, it's an image that you're putting out, and I think they're a mirror of you. So they come in real calm, collective, humble, and I think that's something big for them to show. Is that what you're preaching for them and changing the landscape of what was there before?
Yeah, I think the X's and O's and the strength and condition and all that stuff is one side of it. The most important thing is who you are individually and then collectively as a group. And you get a chance to shape, redefine that every single day. Never judge somebody for who they were yesterday, but who they are today. Those are two great ambassadors for us. But when I got there and just, my first night there, got an hour and a half long conversation, just chopping it up in the team room, finding out what they thought worked, what didn't work, what are the issues and where they want to go and what are the needs. Just accountability was something that from that age group you don't usually hear, but man, it was resounding inside of that room, and it's a foundational piece of who we are, and it's a foundational piece of any relationship. If I can't count on you, man, it's hard to do anything from that standpoint forward, and our kids have learned what that actually means, that it's not something we're just going to talk about. There's a truth to it, and we're going to live by it every day. The great thing is that our locker room's starting to take ownership of it, and championship seasons always happen because of the guys that you have and the accountability and standards inside the locker room. We're starting to develop some of that where they're going to hold each other accountable, but the respect that we have to have for the program that we operate in, the process of getting where we want to go, and the people is really important, and just our effort and attitude and how we communicate with each other every single day. We have grown so much in all of those areas. I look as a coach, you get caught up in pushing forward, and always correcting. You don't recognize the positives nearly enough. But as you pause, and that's what we did as a staff, I said, all right, you got to pause at the end of June and just look back and how far we've come. God, it's really exciting and rewarding in that too. Not to say that we don't have a long ways to go.
Right.
But really proud of where we've come.
So was that a 6-month thing? Like I just want to take like a snapshot of where we are and where we were?
No, because I'm not even sure we've gotten to 6 months yet.
It's 5.5 technically.
It was such a race getting to spring ball finishing up.
I can't imagine.
And then June, like for everybody across the country, I mean, you're putting 16 months of recruiting into 1 month essentially. I mean, on-campus evaluations, the individualized workout, you got your own camp dates, you got unofficial visitors, you got official visitors. I mean, it was.
Yeah. But on top of all that, you had to evaluate your current players.
Well,
you had to hire a staff.
For sure.
You had to figure out what you had and where you were going.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I meant by I can't imagine.
Yeah, so you're just pushing forward, and then at some point you got to pause and go, okay, man, because you get frustrated in the moment too, right? And you got to be careful about acting out of passion, not out of emotion, right? Emotion's going to get you in trouble at times. And so just taking a pause and look back and, be like, man, we've come a long ways.
Yeah. All of that said, and I know you've gotten this question a million times today, and you're going to get it again here, okay. so your Nashville fans can hear what you have to say, but what does success look like this season?
Man, I'm a competitor. Our staff's filled with competitors, and our locker room is too. I've never walked out on a game field and didn't think I was going to win that dang game. All right, so that's first and foremost. At the same time, I don't think we can't focus on the end result. Like, we really do have to focus on what we control, which is today. right? And what's our effort, our attitude, and toughness going to be like today? What's our attention to detail? Who am I going to be, and how am I going to interact with my teammates, my coaches? All of that is what the focus has to be on. That will lead you to where you want to be. And I've won championships. I've won national championships. Man, the teams that win them are the teams that focus on this and don't just focus on the end result.
Yeah.
I like the group of guys, man. I wouldn't want to be with another group of dudes, staff and players alike, and been a lot of fun.
You have talked a lot about communication and relationships and developing those relationships with your kids. I mean, this group has been through the ringer with coaching changes and everything that's coordinator changes, everything that's going on.
Yeah.
What do you say to your guys in regards to that?
Ton of uncertainty that everybody faced over the last 16 months. I'm just talking with COVID. Are we going to play? Are we not going to play? What's the world going to look like? Can I talk to my buddy? Can I not? Am I wearing a mask? Coaching changes, uncertainty for 2 months, December and January. What's it going to look like? And, for a grown-up, that's hard. Man, for an 18 to 22-year-old, that's like a nightmare scenario, right, where your immediate future is unknown. And so it's important to me when I got there, just listening to them, the connection piece was really important to them. And it's a foundational piece of who I want to be and what our program needs to be. That's not just getting the season. That's got to be who we are every day, man. We want to be fun, be innovative, compete fiercely, and create competitive environments. I mean, like you like competing. That's why you're playing, right? You know what I mean? We got to continue to recruit guys that like competing, but I don't care if it's ping pong. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to try to beat your butt, right? But create those environments every day in the building, right? Strength and conditioning. And on the football field, but then also create moments that matter, right? And you have an opportunity to get to know a guy that's from a completely different background, right? Like I'm from South Dakota, and one of my best friends was a middle linebacker from Miami, inner city of Miami. I mean, like, what in the world do we have in common is through the world's eyes, right? But you find out there's a whole lot more to people than just where they come from and what you can see. And so you got to create those experiences, man. And I mean, we've done a bunch of it. And I don't know, dodgeball, kickball, you know what I mean? Crawfish boil and Neyland Stadium. I mean, you name it. Like, we're going to do it and have fun.
Man, you hit on relationships. And for VFLs and your team that you have there, one thing is, Bayless mentioned his locker room. And guys coming into the locker room. Every team I've been a part of, when you go in the locker room after practice, you're in there for hours. You come in early. You're in there talking, socializing with each other, and you love to be around each other. He mentioned that, that's spilling over into the locker room, and I think that's a formula for championships. Later on down the line, if not right away, but that family. And then also you talk about VFLs. I was at the spring game, man, and to see that like it was, even with the COVID restrictions. Like, it hasn't been around like that. I don't know. You probably don't know, but I'm telling you.
I mean,
it was buzzing.
It's
one guarantees heard that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. It's hard for me to imagine just as a player at a program similar to Tennessee. I thought that was one of the unique and right things that the coaching staff did there is bring back former players and hear the lessons from great guys that have gone on and played in the league that are household names, but their experiences and how they won and what the experience for 4 years has meant to them well after they're done playing, right? And that bond. And, God, as a former player, I just know this, like, you feel like there's a piece of you that's left on that field.
Yes.
And you want to be connected to that forever. And I think you want your wife and your kids to have a chance to experience that. And so we've tried to reach out to the VFLs. We sent them stuff initially, just trying to get them engaged and try to get addresses because none of that was there, which is just astounding. No numbers, no addresses, nothing. And so we reached out to them to try to facilitate that. But now if we can have 100 guys that practice every day, I'd love it. You know what I mean? Like, it creates an environment where guys want to show out and compete. But you get a chance to go speak to your former position group or speak to the entire team. You get an opportunity to hear what championship teams and championship players look like, before you and understand that it's a lifelong process. And that matters in the energy for the VFL experience. It matters to our current players. And then it creates a change in the narrative and the energy that surrounds recruiting inside of our state, too, in particular, in Vol Nation. And to me, it's a win on all 3 levels.
Yeah.
Tennessee football coach Josh Heupel with us. You talk about competition. Is that the why behind Joe Milton coming in at quarterback with Harrison Bailey and Brian Maurer and Hendon Hooker already there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Create competition.
Coach's only friend and certainly his best friend is competition. It's going to drive everybody inside of that room in a completely different way than you can when you're not there, which is a majority of the day.
Yeah.
And you want guys that are highly competitive, that are able to go late on the line. They're going to live it, every hour of the day and push themselves. And you got to create that by continuing to recruit high-character guys that have talent, that are highly motivated and competitive. You want to make sure that you recruit guys that do it the right way as well. And the best thing about that room is there's a ton of competition, but at this point they've all handled it in a really positive way.
So is the goal initially going into fall camp to divide those reps up evenly, or are there 2-3 guys that have separated?
I don't care what position you play. Quarterback's no different. You have to earn it in this game. That's the reality of it, right? And I think our players, I know our players have seen that, listen, you earn it. I don't care if you're a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, no-star, walk-on.
Players know, right?
Doesn't matter. You got to earn it now inside of our walls. And they get that there's an expectation and standard that you got to meet. Now, as we get into training camp, guys are going to earn more reps because of the way that they play, and guys are going to earn less reps. Don't make those decisions until you're ready to make those decisions because they've earned it, right? And I think it's really important that ultimately the guy that runs out there and takes that first snap, that your players and your coaches, right, both go, man, that guy earned it. He is our guy. Because when you play that position, it ain't a position of perfect, man.
Well,
and when you make a mistake, everybody's going to see it.
And you played that position. So does that help you in terms of knowing the quarterback's mind? Because there comes a time where I'm sure, guy A or guy B wants most of the reps to get ready for games and things like
Once
that.
a guy's earned it, then you can give him those reps. But you can't do it before they've earned it. And I can't tell you, is that practice 2? Is it practice 10? Is it practice 15? You know?
Your offense, how difficult is it for a quarterback to grasp it if he hasn't?
Master it?
Yes.
Okay, master it is hard, but mastering anything's hard.
Yes.
There's way more intricacies and way more things put on the quarterback position than people, just the casual observer, understand what we're doing, right? The ability to see it, communicate it, process it, being a decision maker, run game, pass game, all of it. Like, there's a lot that is on his plate, and you got to spend a lot of time watching film, drawing up ball plays, teaching it in some ways to go master it. We won't be where we're going to be at the end of the year, week 1, but that guy's going to continue to get better.
Like, it's not just go out there, tempo, somebody's open. Like, that's what you make it look like, Coach.
No,
Come on.
great,
like a video game.
Great players make it look easy. And in it being really easy, man, the amount of man hours that you've put into it to master it, to make it look that way, is really special.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the tempo and all of that and the pressure it puts on the defense. And I go back to, was lucky enough to work some of your games when you were the offensive coordinator at Missouri, and the other side of the ball struggled a bit during one of those years. But for those that say
you blaming him?
Like that?
No, well, I mean, he was on the offensive side of the ball.
And you ain't even in the boom boom room yet.
No, but
we can go into the boom boom room right now.
Coach, no, but all that to say, Coach, that's a popular topic of conversation is, but it puts pressure on the defense. To those people, what do you say?
Well, I think, one, as a coaching staff, you have to manage certain situations really smartly, right? And to halves in particular, right? How do you gain an extra series, right? And how do you end it with the ball in your hand? Absolutely. To put a defense's successes or failures on the other side of the ball is not fair either in any way. Now, you got to be mindful of how you play 3 phases of the game together. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But, like our first year at UCF, our average number of series per game were not very high. And we played with tempo, but we finished games out the right way, into halves, into games, right? And we were playing good defense where you could milk the game in the second half. You know what I'm saying? when it's a 41-40 ball game, right, you're going to keep playing the way that you need to score points.
Score and win.
Josh Heupel with us, Tennessee football coach. Real quick about the NCAA investigation and all of those things.
Yeah.
The commissioner made a point yesterday, and the quote was, "We have to have timely outcomes." How frustrating is that? Challenging is that to deal with as a head coach? With that still, I mean, because we all talked about. I said, "Watch, we'll be sitting here next year, and we'll still be waiting to hear." I mean, I know you're in control. What you can control, guy, because you're a head football coach. But
we are.
Yeah.
I hope it's not next year at this time.
Right?
I think the great thing about what our university has done is hire a firm and bring in the NCAA at the same time to try to expedite it. They're being completely transparent, which is extremely unique in any of these situations. I think that affords us to have an opportunity to move relatively quickly and effectively for us moving forward. I've meant what I've said, from the day I got hired to what I've heard, and I'm not involved in that side of it on a daily basis at all, but really do feel like this is just going to be a speed bump for us. And the kids that we're recruiting, we're going to be able to sign a full class this year, no doubt in my mind. And we're going to be able to move forward and compete for championships when our players get on campus and for the guys that are there right now.
All right, Coach, let me give you what you're looking for.
All right.
This is it. You are going in the boom boom room if you can answer each question truthfully and honestly. Can you do that?
Depends on the question.
That's
I'm joking.
All right, man. Coach Heupel, you are in the boom boom room, brought to you by Low T Center. First and foremost, give me right now better quarterback at Oklahoma. We're talking about playing days.
Mm-hmm.
You or Baker Mayfield?
Man.
Don't shy away.
I mean,
you're my era. I saw you. I know who I'm voting for. I know who I'm voting for.
I mean, it's self-interest. I do think this, though, about Baker, man. Baker was a really talented player.
Yeah.
He did something that was special, and you saw it immediately from him in that he raised the level of play, everybody around him immediately. Right. As soon as he went on the field, 10 other guys around him got better.
Yeah, okay. So now –
I didn't answer the question.
No,
right?
Did.
That was well done.
That was
Did
cute,
you ever
Coach.
run to midfield and do the
hey.
Was that your style too?
I can appreciate it, though, man. It's competitive, man.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. So, all right, you're talking to a basketball guy, man, and I want to thank you also for –
You're talking about me? I'm a basketball guy?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'm about to get to that right now. So, now you got a competitor in you. You got a competitor in your counterpart, Coach Barnes. A game of horse. Who's going to pull this out?
You need to ask his assistants. They've seen me shoot the rock.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
The lefty.
I don't know what Coach Barnes brings to the table.
His game's so good, he doesn't need to speak about it.
He want me to ask around. Okay.
Getting up and down the court, he's got me beat right now.
I'm with you on that. So, all right, next.
Coach Slay.
Yeah, you better believe it. This right here. Better Heisman Trophy runner-up. You or Peyton?
Peyton, my God. Are you kidding me? You kidding me, man? It's real dude, man.
Hey, all right. From that national championship run that you had with Oklahoma, give me a memorable moment.
Being down 3 possessions, second half, all odds against you, against A&M, and no doubt, no frantic behavior by anybody, just believe they were going to go out and do our job and find a way to win, and did.
Well, Coach, this is the short version. I'm going to let you on out of the boom boom room.
All right, I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll be back at some point.
Most definitely. Coach Heupel's out of the boom boom room, brought to you by Low T Center. I appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys.
Did you have fun today?
It's been a great day. Really has. It's been fun.
Man. Well, hey, thanks for the time. Good to see you.
Hey, real quick,
be watching.
Before you go, what you've done for the state of Tennessee, putting that fence back around and out there recruiting. I'm from Nashville. I'm born and raised, went to Tennessee. I'm watching what you're doing. Much appreciated what you're doing. As a VFL watching it, this is exactly what the state needed.
We're going to recruit it the right way. Doesn't mean we're going to get every one of them. Vol Nation's got to help us circle the fences and create that pressure for kids to stay here. But we're going to recruit it the right way with guys that have their feet on the ground, high school coaches, and do things the right way.
Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate it.
There he is, Josh Heupel. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. All right, more 3HL when we come back on